The Fox 61 Weather Watch with meteorologist Ryan Breton.
Well, I have my umbrella ready after work, but I don't know if it's going to be able to handle the rain and wind. What do you think?
At midnight in Hartford, it will be able to.
Okay.
At 6 o'clock tomorrow morning in Hartford, more of a struggle.
So I don't have to get a new umbrella then.
Yeah, but people tomorrow morning, the timing is the unfortunate part of this storm.
Yep.
With right around daybreak, the heaviest rain, strongest winds coming through. I think there could be some school delays, especially on the shore, but it's just going to be one of those wait and see type things to see how the storm is evolving.
That's what all the kiddos are hoping for tonight.
Yeah.
I remember those days, right?
Me too. But you usually in December don't get it from rain and wind.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
We'll see. Look at the wind right now. I know that's one thing that a lot of people want to know about. It's gusty on the shoreline, but not really that windy inland. And that's how we expected this evening to play out. It's not going to be until after about 3 or 4 in the morning that the winds start to overspread the state. And the strongest winds will be on the shoreline and in southeastern Connecticut and New London County. That's where a high wind warning has been issued. The rest of the state, it's a wind advisory, meaning the wind will be gusty, and in some isolated cases there may be some damage or some lines that come down, but it's really in the red shaded area where we'll have the biggest issues. There's also a flood watch, a repeat of last week in spots with some basement flooding, rivers, streams, and poor drainage areas. Last week the heaviest rain was from about New Haven up through northeast Connecticut. I think it'll more be the western part of the state that gets the highest amounts this time. And we talked about the coastal flooding. There's a high tide early in the morning, around 3 in the morning, and then another high tide early tomorrow afternoon. But the tide really won't go out much because that's during the height of the storm, that low tide is. So that water will come back in and cause some inundation and flooding during the high tide early tomorrow afternoon. We have some scattered downpours out there. They're kind of hit and miss, not all that long lasting if you get into one of them, but we do have one going through Windham and Lebanon. But as we put this into motion, you'll see these are flying on by, and they're well ahead of the main storm, which is still way down to our south, the center of it located over North Carolina, and this will come right up over southern New England, bringing us the brunt of the storm later tonight into tomorrow morning. So we'll go through the timeline here slowly, hour by hour. Midnight, the rain beginning to continue to move in at varying intensities. But after about 2 or 3 in the morning, watch what happens here. We have some real oranges and reds showing up. That's heavy rain, and this is also when the wind really picks up, coming in out of the southeast. Gusts 40 to 50 miles per hour inland, 50 to 60 miles per hour along the shoreline. And we have waves of rain that keep coming through during the morning. There may be some breaks in there, but then another downpour may redevelop late in the morning before the steadiest of the rain shifts out during the afternoon. Maybe a few more showers early afternoon before we're dry by the time the evening commute rolls around. And by that point, we'll have a west wind, which won't be as gusty, and that will be sending in some cooler air. 2 to 4 inches of rain, a good bet, but there may be some spots that get 4, 4.5, perhaps up to 5 inches, especially in the western part of the state where that southeast wind goes up over the hills and kind of generates some heavier rain. Here's a look at the wind timeline. Again, as we go through the night, the wind's really continuing to pick up, and it's after about 3, 4 in the morning when we'll be getting our strongest gusts, but by 7 a.m. we may have some gusts over 50 miles per hour, especially in southern and eastern Connecticut, and then all of this action shifts out as we go through the afternoon. So again, if you're in this red shaded area, there is a risk for power outages. Farther inland, it's 40 to 50 mile per hour winds, not likely to be as widespread, but still some isolated issues in that part of the state. So the rain is the most widespread impact, a moderate impact from the wind and outages, and a moderate impact from coastal flooding. So if you live in a spot on the shoreline that's known to flood and your car is parked there, good idea to get it up and move it out to higher ground. It does look like that early afternoon high tide is the most concerning one, but there may be some splash over late tonight and early tomorrow morning. Rain and wind, that's the story first thing. Tomorrow evening, though, is dry, maybe an isolated shower on Tuesday. We're dry for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all the way through the weekend. That's leading us up to Christmas Eve. No snow in sight this year. Carmen, back to you.
All right, Ryan.